Good evening and welcome. Tonight we're going to be continuing our read through of the complete guide to flags of the world. And tonight we're going to read about Eastern Asia and Southeast Asia. So let me find where we've left off in this book. We read this chapter last about Western Asia, and now we are on to Eastern and Southeast Asia. It's a map of all the countries that we're going to be learning about tonight. So let's start off with China, or the People's Republic of China. The Chinese flag was designed to be modest and majestic. Oh, I forgot pencil. Let me grab it. Oop, okay. The Chinese flag was designed to be modest and majestic. Red, the traditional color of China, also stands for communism. The large yellow star stands for communist ideology, while the four small stars depict the regions of China. Together, the stars echo the importance of the number 5 in Chinese philosophy. China's first national flag in 1872 depicted the blue dragon of the Manchu dynasty on a yellow field. Decades later, clashes between nationalist and communist forces led to several flags being flown prior to the establishment of the People's Republic in 1949. And next is Hong Kong, or the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Formerly part of China, Hong Kong was occupied by Britain in 1841 and ceded by China in 1842. The Kowloon Peninsula was acquired in 1860, and the new territories were secured under a 99-year lease. As a British Crown colony, a blue ensign depicting the local coat of arms was flown. When the end of the leasehold approached, sovereignty of Hong Kong was transferred to China in 1997 in exchange for an assurance that a capitalist economy would be retained for 50 years. Hong Kong is now a special administrative region of China. Its new flag has a red field, the stylized white flower of the bauhinia tree. The red stars within the 5 petals are derived from the Chinese flag. Next we have, I know I skipped a page, there we go. Next we have Macau, or the Macau Special Administrative Region. Portuguese explorers established Macau as a trading and missionary post in 1537, and Portugal leased it from China in 1557. Macau was annexed in 1849 and from 1887 was recognized by the Chinese government as a Portuguese colony, which it remained until it reverted to China in 1974. Macau is a special administrative region of China. The flag depicts on a green field a 3-leafed lotus flower representing the islands of Macau. A stylized bridge and water, oh there's the bridge, indicate an inseparable contact with mainland China, while the golden color of the 5 stars is derived from the Chinese flag. And next we have Taiwan, which it cites here as part of Republic of China. Debatable, but we're just going to go with it for this video. I'm just reading what the book says. If I can lay it flat and be able to read it, that would be incredible, but I don't think that's going to happen, so do my best. The Taiwanese flag was the national flag of China from 1928 to 1949, when Chiang Kai-shek's Chinese Nationalist Party, or Kuomintang, was in power. After the communist victory in 1949, the nationalists retreated to Formosa, now Taiwan, and established a government based on China's pre-1947 constitution. The white sun on a blue field is the flag of the Kuomintang. The blue background stands for liberty and justice. The sun represents equality and light, and the 12 rays representing the hours of the clock, against which progress is constantly measured. The red field is for brotherhood, sacrifice, and the Han Chinese, the dominant race in China. Next we have Mongolia. 3 vertical bands of red, blue, red have been used on the Mongolian flag since 1940, when the soyombo, the country's national emblem, was added at the hoist. The uppermost symbol is a flame above a sun and crescent moon. Inverted triangles are ancient Mongol symbols for death. Horizontal panels indicate watchfulness, as do the 2 stylized fish, which make up the Chinese yin-yang symbol. 2 vertical columns express the old proverb that the friendship of 2 men is stronger than stone walls. A star surmounting the emblem was removed in 1992, and the design of the soyombo was modified. Next is Japan. The red Hinomaru, or disk of the sun, recalls the worship of Amaterasu Omikami, the sun goddess of the Shinto faith. The present national flag, with a red disk on a white field, was adopted after the restoration of the Meiji dynasty and the inauguration of Emperor Mutsuhito in 1867, which introduced an era of rapid change and westernization. The white field denotes purity and honesty, while red is said to stand for warmth and sincerity. Although Japan is known as the land of the rising sun, the Japanese national flag has never depicted the sun with rays. Next we have North Korea, or the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. From 1910, the flag of Japan flew over the annexed Korean peninsula. In 1948, the former kingdom was partitioned along latitude 38 degrees north, or the 38th parallel, into a communist north and democratic south. The flag adopted by North Korea expressed its newly acquired communist ideology with a 5-pointed red star on a white disk, situated on a broad horizontal red band, bordered above and below by a narrow white stripe and a broader blue stripe. The flag retains the traditional Korean colors, with special prominence given to red for the Communist Revolution. The white disk recalls the Chinese yin-yang symbol. And next we have South Korea, or the Republic of Korea. The basic design of... this is such an awkward angle for this part of the book. The basic design of Korea's national flag was reestablished after Korea was liberated from the Japanese rule in 1945, and there have been minor modifications since then. White represents peace and purity, and is also Korea's traditional color. At the flag's center is the yin-yang symbol. The 4 groups of black bars, or trigrams, derive from the I Ching, or Book of Changes, a Chinese divination system. The pattern of broken yin and unbroken yang bars illustrates principles of movement and harmony. The 3 intact trigrams up here represent heaven. Moving clockwise, the other trigrams depict water, earth, and fire. And next we have Vietnam, or the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Goodness, there. It's as good as I can get it. Difficulties with reading from the middle of the book, right? Vietnam was part of French Indochina when Japan invaded in 1940. Following Japan's defeat, Vietnamese nationalists fought against the restoration of French colonial rule in 1954. Under the Geneva Convention, Vietnam was divided into communist North and pro-Western South, resulting in the Vietnam War. After Saigon's fall, the country was united as the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, under the flag of North Vietnam. The flag consists of a 5-pointed gold star at the center of a red field. The points on the star represent the unity of the 5 groups of workers who build socialism. Red stands for revolution and also for the bloodshed by the Vietnamese people. Next is Laos, or the Lao People's Democratic Republic. Laos gained independence from France in 1953 and became a communist state in 1975 when the present national flag was introduced. The flag is divided into a broad horizontal blue band at the center, flanked top and bottom by a red band. Red is for the bloodshed in the struggle for freedom during the Civil War, and blue is for wealth. The white disc symbolizes the ruling Lao People's Revolutionary Party, leading the country to prosperity. The disc is said to be based on the one in the Japanese national flag, used in recognition of Japan's work against Western colonialism. Next is Cambodia, or the Kingdom of Cambodia. Okay, there we go, I guess. Cambodia became a French protectorate in 1863. During most of World War II, the country was occupied by Japan. Part of Indochina, Cambodia raised its own flag in 1949 when it achieved semi-autonomy from France, before becoming independent in 1953. The present flag, dating from 1948, was reintroduced when the monarchy was reinstated in 1993, several other versions having been flown in the interim. The ancient temple of Angkor Wat, revered as the sanctuary of the Lord Creator of the world, is depicted in the red band. The temple buildings rest on a pedestal, representing the structure of the universe. Next is Myanmar, or the Republic of the Union of Myanmar. This one's always so easy to point out when I'm doing flag quizzes because it has a gigantic star on it. The previous flag, featuring a blue canton with 14 white stars for the 14 states in the country, around a 14-toothed pinion and ears of rice, industry and culture, on a red field, had been in use since January 1974. A new design was proposed in November 2006, but superseded roughly a year later. Finally accepted with amendments in a 2008 referendum. The new flag was officially hoisted in October 2010, and all old flags symbolically burned. It features bands of green for peace, yellow for solidarity, and red for courage. The white star symbolizes the country's strong union. And next is Thailand, or the Kingdom of Thailand. Here we go. Thailand's flag was originally an expression of support for the Allied cause in World War I, as most Allied flags used red, white, and blue. The field is divided into horizontal bands, with the central blue band being 1/3 of the depth of the flag. The bands of white and red above and below are each 1/6 of the flag's depth. The colors symbolize the lifeblood of the country in red, the purity of the people and their Buddhist faith in white, and the monarchy in blue. The Thai people are proud of their culture and their flag, which is widely displayed. And next is Malaysia. When Malaya changed its name to Malaysia in 1963, it adopted a flag closely resembling the U.S. Stars and Stripes, with Islamic symbols. The 7 red and 7 white stripes symbolize unity within the Federation, as do the 14 rays or points of the star in the chief canton. The crescent and star together represent Islam, the principal religion. Blue represents Malaysian unity. Yellow, the color of the crescent and the star, is the traditional color of Malaysian rulers. Malaysia comprises 13 states and 3 federal territories: Kuala Lumpur, Labuan, and Putrajaya. Next is Singapore, or the Republic of Singapore. I'm trying to position this so that you can see the name, flag, and where it's located while trying to lay it flat so I can read. That's what I'm going through right now, but I'm going to have to sacrifice something. There we go. Singapore was leased to the British East India Company in 1819. The flag was first used when Singapore received self-government from Britain in 1959, retained when it joined the Malaysian Federation in 1963, and formally adopted when the country gained independence within the Commonwealth in 1965. The flag is horizontally divided into equal bands of red over white, colors associated with the Malay people. Red represents equality and universal brotherhood, while white stands for virtue and purity. The white crescent signifies that Singapore is a new and growing nation. The 5 five-pointed stars stand for equality, justice, democracy, peace, and progress. Next is Brunei, or Brunei Darussalam. Brunei is an absolute monarchy. The principal flag color, yellow, is associated with the ruling sultan, while the angled bands of black and white represent the chief ministers. At the center of the flag is the state coat of arms in red. The twin-tailed flag and umbrella are royal symbols, while the upturned crescent represents Islam. The hands signify government protection and promotion of the people's rights. 2 4-feathered wings, I guess that's these, or these? I'm not sure. Maybe these. 2 4-feathered wings symbolize the protection of justice, peace, tranquility, and prosperity. The Arabic motto on the crescent translates to "Always render service by the guidance of Allah," while the inscription on the scroll beneath it reads, "Brunei, City of Peace." And next is the Philippines, or the Republic of the Philippines. When the Philippines gained independence from the USA in 1946, the flag raised had originally been used by nationalists during the struggle for freedom from Spain. The white triangle represents peace and purity. Red is for courage, and blue is for honor and ideals or patriotism. Within the triangle are an 8-rayed sun and 3 stars, all in gold. The stars represent the Philippines' main regions of Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, while the sun stands for liberty and represents the 8 provinces that revolted against Spain. Next is Indonesia, or the Republic of Indonesia. Indonesia was a Dutch colony from 1816 until 1945, when independence was proclaimed. It was not recognized by the Dutch until 1949. The government of 1945 was encouraged by Japanese occupation to Western colonialism and based the flag on colors used by a 13th century Indonesian empire. It comprises equal horizontal bands of red above white, sacred colors to the ancient empire, which were deliberately chosen by the nationalist movement of the 1940s. Officially called Sang Twiwarma, or exalted bicolor, the flag symbolizes the complete person, red for the body and physical life, and white for the soul and spiritual excellence. Next is East Timor, or the Democratic Republic of East Timor, or Timor-Leste, as most of the world knows it. There we go, it's laying flat. East Timor became independent from Indonesia in May 2002, when the flag of an interim UN administration was replaced with a flag dating from the country's 1975 transition from Portuguese colony to independent state, which was ended by an invasion by pro-Indonesian militias. The black triangle represents periods of colonization, which endured for about 400 years. The yellow chevron depicts the struggle for independence and the hope of prosperity. Red is for the bloodshed for independence, a poignant association in view of the mass murders committed upon the East Timorese in 1999. White is for peace, and the 5-pointed star is a light of hope for the nation's future. I thought it said fight, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. It says light. Anyway, on to Christmas Island, or the territory of Christmas Island. Depending on phosphate working staffed by Chinese and Malay migrants, Christmas Island is an isolated mountainous island south of Java, in Indonesia. Annexed by Great Britain in 1888, the island was transferred to Australian rule in 1956. The island flag is blue and green, representing the sea and the land. It displays the Australian Southern Cross in white on blue, an outline of the island in green, right here, right here, that's a bird, in green, and the gold central disc, and the endemic golden bosun bird in gold on green. That's the island. That's a bird. That's the Southern Cross. And that's Christmas Island. Next is the Cocos Keeling Islands, or the territory of the Cocos Keeling Islands. The Cocos Keeling Islands are small coral islands southwest of Indonesia. The British Clunies Ross family established palm tree plantations in 1826 and were recognized as rulers by the British government in 1886. In 1955, Britain ceded the islands to Australia, which purchased the rights of the Clunies-Ross family in 1978. The original flag of the islands is that of Australia. However, on the islands themselves, a green flag displaying the Australian Southern Cross, the crescent moon of the majority Malay Muslim population, and a palm tree, all in gold, is flown. Oh, and that's the end. Really, that was so fast. Kind of tempted to do the next one, but then it might get too long, so that is the end. Goodness, it feels like there's so many more countries in Eastern Asia, but I guess it's all dominated by like China and Indonesia. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you found this video relaxing and educational. And I hope that you have a very good night. Good night. Good night.